and welcome to this video on D16's Punchbox. I'm going to show you how I make and process kick drums on it. It can basically make any sort of kick drum you want, but where it really stands out is techno kick drums and industrial distorted drums, because it's got really good analog modeling distortion, which I'll just bring in now. It's just on sort of an 808 sound. So yeah, I'll get into that in a second. First, if you want, I made some presets for this. They're absolutely free. You can get them on the blog. There's a link in the description below. Yeah, have a look at them. There's some other stuff on there as well. So yeah, let's get into it. Basically, it's the heart of this is the kick generator, and it generates 808 style sounds, 909 style sounds, 606, and it's got its own sound generation and samples as well. So yeah, the 909 one looks like a 909. You've just got the 909 pitch and tuning controls basically, which I'm sure you've seen before. Really simple. You can adjust the attack as well. It's the same for the 808. There's less controls. The main one you want is decay, and the sweep time can make it punchier. Obviously, when you've got the distortion on, these make a big difference. At the moment they don't. Let me just show you. So like the sweep time will make a big difference once you're starting to add harmonics with distortion. The small envelope tweaks make a big difference. You've got 606 one, which again does not sound very big or fat, but when you start adding distortion, you can get really nice tones out of the 606 one. And it's got a sine wave generator as well. Let me just switch the distortion off, which is fairly self-explanatory. It's just got basic pitch envelope settings. And you can adjust the curves as well. And yeah, again, once you start to fatten it with distortion, that'll make a big difference. Yeah, and also it's got a sample mode where you can load your own samples, which is really, really good. They comes with a ton of samples. These all come with the VSD, and if you basically got basic sampler type controls like decay and where the sample starts. I mean, I only ever really use decay, to be honest here. But yeah, you can load your own samples into this as well. It doesn't have to be kick drums. I sometimes load rumbles into it as well, so I can process the kick drums heavily and the rumbles as well for like heavy industrial sub bass. So yeah, that's the sample generation. I'll probably put it on at 808 while I look at the other stuff. To the left, you've got three things that basically add top end to the kick. So it makes it cut through the mix a bit better and adds a bit of top end punchiness. The first one is click, which obviously adds a click to it. I hope you can hear that. It's really sort of slight. You've got like basic sampler controls again, like decay and tune. That's just to add a little high end click, and then there's a ton of samples again that come with it, and you can just loads, go through them all. Tops is similar, but it's more pronounced. It's more like adding a snare or a hi-hat to the top of the kick. And crusher. I'm going to turn it down because it can be really extreme. Basically, you know how bit crusher works. Probably it digitizes the sound. It's like a low bit rate, and you get really digital distortion. It can get really nasty. They've got some sub presets within it, so you can just scroll through them if you want. Some of them will just make it sound a bit like a nice crunchy old filter with a crunchy old sampler. Sorry, but you know, a bit lo-fi like that, I guess. And some of them are extreme noise like that. What I like to do is, sorry if that hurt your ears, is turn them all up to max so you're getting no bit crushing, and then use this preamp here like an extra analog distortion, even if I'm not using the bit crushing. There's a low pass filter, high pass filter, low cut there, so you can just do the high ends, affect the high end if you want. Then the next one is distortion, which gives most of the, has the most effect on the sound. There's 6 different filter types, distortion types. Some of them are more extreme than others, and then you've got here dynamics and like preamp to boost it before the filter. You've got low cuts, you can tame the low end. You've got a soft and hard contour tone, and then again you've got some sub presets that you can just scroll through. What I would say as well is you can change the position of these by these tabs here, and the distortion will have a much different effect depending on where it is in the chain. I'll show you in a minute with the equalizer plugins when I put one before it. But yeah, it's worth noting that. So yeah, then we've got the filter, which is fairly self-explanatory, which you can filter the sound down to almost nothing, but you can use it to like boost. I use it to boost parts of the kick. So if you put the resonant right up, and then you can bring out bits of the kick, and you can mix it back in with the original. So you can get like these. EQ boosts, and especially if you move them to before the distortion, you can bring out really nice frequencies. So it will have an effect on the distortion if you put it before it. That's what I was talking about before. Then you have the equalizer, which is similar to the filter. You can boost high end, and this can be really extreme and really resonant as well. So like you can boost the mid frequencies and the lows, and you can change the resonance of the mid one as well. I mean, that's just the equalizer you're hearing affecting the kick. And again, if you put it before the distortion, you can push sound into the distortion unit at different frequency rates, like that. And maybe put a filter after it, so then you've got like sculpting before and after the distortion unit. And you can tweak this for days. But yeah, like I said, if you want to see the presets I've made, there's some in the description below. But what I do is I normally set something like this up and save it, and then tweak it some more, and you can just go back to the center and just change everything again by changing the kick drum, and changing the pitch and decay here will have big effects on the sound, obviously. So yeah, that is roughly it. You've got the heart and soul of the drum machine is the generator here. You've got the 909-808 and sample and sine. And you can add the top ends here, and then process it here. And yeah, I mean, I could tweak this for days, to be honest. But where it really excels is on like these analog, hard, distorted sort of industrial techno kicks. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, head over to the blog post and get the free presets, and check the blog out as well. Before I go though, I will just show you how I use it for rumbles as well. So yeah, if I put this on, this is a kick drum which I've loaded into it. It's one of our own kick drums that's on the Patreon. It's just from the 909 kick I made. That's just loaded up vanilla with no distortions on. I think the limiter's on a little bit. Then I've put the same, I've taken the rumble from that kick, which you can hear there. It's got a bit of click on it, but that's it. That's just the rumble. And then what you can do is you can process it, so you can get really industrial rumble. So you can use it for rumble processing. This is sidechain to the kick as well. I've got a little compressor on here. And then you can go back, add the kick in, and process the kick as well. You can get, and you can get, anyway, you can get really industrial rumbles and patterns out of it like that. So yeah, that's it. Basically, you can just tweak the samples as much as you like. You can put whatever samples you like in there, but I always just put a kick and the rumble made from it, and then tweak them from there. It's great for this sort of industrial pumping techno low end. So yeah, that's it. If you want these samples, you can get them on the Patreon. You can get the presets, which I made there for free. That's all in the link in the description below. There's also another video we've done which you might like, which is how to make techno rumbles. There's a free Ableton rack for that as well. I'll link that in the description below. And yeah, if you have any questions, please hit me up in the comments, and I'd love to hear what you make with this as well. Yeah, so leave us a link. Okay, take care, have a good day, bye.